Good morning, everybody. Let me go post our link over on the website. The website is jollyrogerukulele.com. And from there, you'll get your sheet music and all that stuff. I'm running a minute late, 2 minutes late at this point. So I got to post it as quickly as possible. Link to join, delete, Command V, Shift, highlight, link, enter, edit, settings, open link in new window, update, a bold. Okay, looks good. Let me hit update. All right, that'll get everybody rolling in here. Close this out. And let me know when you log in if you can hear me. And that's always the big question with these things. I've got it pretty much worked out now these days, where I don't do that very often, but it still happens. All right, let me make sure that the link is working. Scroll down, TuffUke. Click there. Send us over to Jolly Roger 4. It's got today on there. What's today? Yep. All right, so hello, we are here. Let's get started. I'm going to go through a crazy amount of music in a very short amount of time, and I'm delighted you're here to join us. If you're watching the replay, you can't participate in chat, obviously, but everybody else that's here live can. If you're logged into YouTube or Google, it will let you use the chat bar. All right, so let me pull up our to-do list today. Book 1, we're going to sing a little bit, which is always scary. And then I'll give you a singing project for the week. And then we're going to play Bach's Menuett, pages 3 and 4. Those are the hard pages. And then in Book 3, Ukulele Lady and When You Wish Upon a Star. Not too much instruction today, just a lot of practice. Okay, so let me pull up my stuff that I need off of here. I can close this out. Don't need that anymore. And my iPad is not wanting to sign me into the website today, and so let's see if it's going to let me do it this time. All right, man. Okay, let's go grab the little songbook. Here. Ukulele Book 1. Strummers. Today we're going to work on I'm a Little Teapot. I just did these with the guitar players. All right, I'm going to play them on I changed the strings on this, and because it was sounding a little bit like I don't know, it sounded a little bit like tin cans. Sitting just for one night on new clean strings, how far out of tune it gets. And that should tell you one thing: new strings move quite a bit. So if you pick up your ukulele and you do not ever have to tune it, those strings are dead and you're not getting the best sound out of it. So I always recommend, if you play at all, if you use your ukulele hardly at all, once a year is how often you should be changing your strings. If you play every day, you're probably going to have to do it sooner than that. Every 4 to 6 months is probably more realistic on that. So let's see who all's in here. Kat made it in this morning. Good morning. Where is everybody? I know that I'm running late. It's daylight savings. Everybody's sleeping, and they don't know they're supposed to be here yet. They'll check it out tomorrow. Hey Lynn, good to see you. New strings. Ugh, she says. Susan, good to see you in from the blustery New Hampshire, right? Red, hey, good to see you. Beverly is here today. Linda is in. Already having morning coffee. Yeah, I know, but daylight savings is messing us up. Who cares, right? Let's play this. All right, I'm gonna go over to the website and say, all right, so we want to do the I'm a Little Teapot. I know you don't want to, but this is a great way to start your day. Page 8 of the little booklet. By the way, those of you who hate changing your strings, honestly, take it into the shop. It takes them 10 minutes to do it. Takes you 2 hours to do it, right? And it's where, and then you get to go to the music shop, right? All right, I'm a little teapot. One, oh, by the way, A chord. To get to D chord, drop your middle finger and your third finger, okay? And to get back to A chord, chase your index, okay? And then to E7, in my mind, the easiest thing is get your index finger on the top string, middle and ring finger, okay? If you're on baritone, your A string, your A chord looks like the D chord, right? A, and then your D is down here, so chase your middle finger down to that bottom D shape, and then back up here to A, and then to get you your E7, you actually have a very easy E7 if you're on baritone. Again, we all play together because we can on this type of stuff from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Sorry. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. So I still had a guitar brain in my head. It went, so I got the wrong chord, the chord shapes wrong. Okay, ukulele brain. One more time from the top. If you, whatever you did with your right hand last time, change it. Either do thumb down, either do your index finger up and down, do your arpeggio plucking, whatever you think you'd like to do. I'm going to do up and down just for fun. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle and here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Beautiful, right? That's the greatest song ever. Let's go take a look at it. I'm working on the railroad measure, page 9. On this one, I'm going to do an arpeggio pluck. So thumb, index, middle, ring. Thumb, index, middle, ring. If you want it to sound better and a little more complicated, use just the bottom 3 strings. Thumb, index, middle, ring. I'm sorry, thumb, index, middle, index. Thumb, index, middle, index. Okay, I'll probably do it that way instead. Okay. 1, 2, ready, play. I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Can't you hear the whistle blow and rise up so early in the morning? Can't you hear the captain shouting, Dinah, blow your horn. Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Oh, oh, oh. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah, strumming on the old banjo. Bringing P5, fiddly-I-O, P5, fiddly-I-O, oh, oh, P5, fiddly-I-O. Not from the elbow, from your wrist. Strumming on the old banjo. Okay, so there's that. Now I tried to use all the different techniques on your right hand. On top of spaghetti. That's back on page something. Page 12. Page 12. All right, and as you guys know, I'm a terrible singer, but what are we going to do? Okay, I'm working on it, sort of. On top of spaghetti's in 3. Now that gives you choices, right? If you can still do 1, 2, 3. You can do 1 and 2 and 3, and you can do 1, 2, 3. But if you're going to do an arpeggio pattern, try doing thumb pluck, thumb pluck, thumb pluck, thumb pluck, thumb pluck. F's in 2, right? Thumb, pluck, but now you're in 3, so do it thumb, pluck, thumb, pluck, just for fun. Just try that, okay? 1, 2. On top of spaghetti, all covered with cheese, I lost my poor meatball when somebody sneezed. It rolled off the table and onto the floor, and then my poor meatball rolled right out the door. It rolled down the gutter and under a bush, and now my poor meatball is nothing but mush. The rains came and soaked it as wet as can be, and early next summer it grew to a tree. The tree was all covered with beautiful moss. It grew lovely meatballs, all covered in sauce. If you eat spaghetti, all covered in cheese, hang on to your meatball and don't ever sneeze. Remember your first string's A, so if you're in A, play that first A, play something else, a C sharp maybe, and then an A is on 12. And that's how you finish up an A song with a nice high bink. All right, and then finally This Little Light of Mine. I think I sped up on that song a lot. All right, This Little Light of Mine is a good one to teach kids, right? Because it's got a nice message, and you're on A chord a whole lot in this song. Okay? A chord. Again, be smart about trying not to pull everybody off and resetting all your chord fingers. Use one chord as the lead, right? So if I'm in A, I'm going to put my middle finger on to get the D. Okay? If I'm in D, I'm going to slide my index finger back. Now I can get my E7. Okay? Same thing on baritone. If I'm on A and I need to get to D, okay, I'm chasing my middle finger. Get that on there first, then the other two will jump on. If I'm on, if I need to get to the E7 from D, all I need to do is slide my index finger back. Okay, do you do that in this song? I think you go from A to E7. You go from, oh no, you do go D to E7, right? All right, This Little Light of Mine. Last song I'm going to sing. 1, 2, ready, go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Okay, there you go. Remember, A note is on 12. Okay, how do your 12 sound, by the way? Okay, I got brand new strings, pretty decent ukulele. Sounds okay. If you have old strings or a less quality ukulele, that's not a bad thing, right? Everybody ought to have a cheap ukulele. Okay? You won't get that nice. Listen to how long the sustain sounds. New strings, decent ukulele. To there, right? Boom. So that's a pretty long amount of time. If yours goes, right, which is typical on cheap ukuleles with dead strings. Right, it only lasts a second. And so that's another reason why, if you haven't done it, if you're playing on white strings, you want to switch those out to fluorocarbon. I recommend everybody use those Savaras ones that are easily available on Amazon. And they come in tenor length and concert length. I just put a tenor length on everything. And they last a long time, not forever. Right, they give you great sound. They're very reliable. I've only had one string break in all these years. So, by the way, I let my coffee go cold. It's the saddest moment of my life. This week, Kookaburra. Let's talk very quickly about Kookaburra. You got the other chord in there. Okay, if you don't know the song, if you were a Girl Scout, you know the song. If you're not, you don't know the song. Let me give you the first verse. Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bush is he. Laugh, Kookaburra, laugh, Kookaburra, gay your life must be. Now you have the F sharp minor in there. If you're on ukulele, no big deal. You just add a finger, right? That's not a complicated chord. On ukulele. On baritone, it's a very complicated chord. So let me just give you a brief overview on baritone, just so you know what you're getting into. Those of you guys that are buying baritones, this is not. This is the worst idea I've come up with yet. All right, let's double check that the baritone. I didn't change strings on this, so it shouldn't be too bad. Baritone, here you are in A chord. Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bush is he. Laugh, Kookaburra. Here's where the problem is. Use your index finger. Boom. Ring finger up to 4. Laugh, Kookaburra. Gay your life must be. Okay, so you have this F sharp minor. It's a bar on 2, ring finger here. For those of you who ever ask yourself, why is Gary such a psycho about bars? Here's a relatively basic key that all of you need to be able to play in. And on baritone, it includes a bar chord. It's the same thing as with the key of F on ukulele. Here you are, you're all happy playing in the key of F, and then you realize, oh gosh, I got a B flat hanging out in there, and you're like, well, I just won't play any songs in F because I don't want to do that. No, we just learned to use your bar, and that's what that bar, the practice bar sheet is for. Make a better bar. Notice I immediately put my middle finger on top of my bar because I can. But if two things are happening here. One, I'm getting better at my bar. I'm getting good at being clean. But equally as important is I'm teaching this hand, thumb, index, middle, ring, going this direction, and then coming back I'm teaching it ring, middle, index, thumb, going that direction. And those are going to turn out to be really, really handy skills that you want to have. So, Kookaburra is the song of the week. We will do every single verse. I say this all the time. The last line of verse 3 is the greatest line ever written in music. You should spend some time with it. All right, let's go grab some Bach. Now, this week, your job was to prepare pages 3 and 4, because 2 weeks from now, we're going to play the whole entire Bach suite. And I have a lot of people playing the Bach suite right now. So everywhere I go, I feel like, oh, I'm doing a lot of Baroque music, and that's not a bad thing, honestly. It could be worse than this song. So let's play through pages 3 and 4, then we'll talk about putting the whole thing together. Pages 3 and 4 are definitely on the outer edges of book 2. In other words, this is pretty pages 1 and 2 are definitely sort of basic run-of-the-mill book 2 stuff, but in fact everything on pages 1 and 2 is out of book 1, okay, but pages 3 and 4 are the outer limits of book 2. Like there's many things in here that I typically would not be thinking of as book 2 stuff. Not many, there's a handful. Okay, I'm going to start on ukulele, and let me make sure I have the ukulele version here. TuffUke, yes. Okay, so page 3, remember we're in G minor now. Okay, and again, you can, I'm going to do the repeats here, okay? So I'm going to play the repeats the first time through, I'm going to use my thumb. The second time, I'm going to use my claw, okay? I want to be good at doing both of those things, and so let's see how good you guys are doing. Look at everybody who showed up. Let's see. Sandy made it in. Vicky, nice to see you guys. To see you, Vicky. I don't get to see you anymore. And Jan is here. Good to see you guys. Okay, page 3. On ukulele, if you have a baritone in your hand, you got to play the chords, okay? If the TuffUke, what instrument am I on? If the tough line is too tough, you play melody with me, okay? That's Jolly Roger Ukulele 101. When TuffUke gets too tough, you play melody. And if you're on baritone, you play chords. All right, from the top, I'm going to use my thumb the first time, claw the second time. Just page 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. Switch to claw. You over into the next page. So hopefully that went pretty smoothly for you. For me, obviously I didn't spend enough time on it this week. I got surprised at measure 40 when I had to go back up to this shape. Okay, and a lot of times this is the high. Okay, that's a high G minor versus this low one. Okay, so that's going to come up a lot. I do those two chords show up in arrangements a lot, so it's good. There's another piece where you're like, if I get good at this piece, I'm going to get good at some of the other stuff. All right, now that's page 3. Okay, hopefully that's going well. And then now page 4 is the hard one. Okay, and so let's talk about just a handful of things here. Remember, when you get to measure 52, honestly, you've got your high B flat. Okay, that's a bar on 5 with your F shape in front. Okay. Okay, so that's a B flat. F chord here, B flat here. Okay. And then you've got your high F, which is a C chord here. And on 5, it's an F. Okay. You've got the regular B flat in here. Recommend you use a full bar if you can. and then measure 58th tough, right? B flat plus you have to get your pinky on the 8. Okay. Now I have on your tabs I have a 1 there, but you should probably just play a 6 on the 2 string since you're already holding it down. I was changing my tab to do that, and then everything else is standard issue. Okay, so there's plenty of things to learn on this one, mostly surrounding bars. Those of you who are like, I don't like bars. Okay, bars take 2 years to get good at, so you might as well start now. All right, from the top. 1, 2, 3. Top. Okay, that's it. So that's page 2. That's a lot. Okay, that's definitely the hardest part of the song. There'll be a few places where the chords are so thick and so difficult. So as you're working on this at home, if you listen to the MP3, it's pretty fast, right? Slow it down to half speed and then work on it. And dun 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 jum 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 jum, so that you have some possibility of getting those more complicated chords on in correct timing. The other thing to pay attention to when you're working on classical or Baroque music, it's harder to just drop notes. And when we're working on folk music, I drop them all the time. Get to something hard, you're like, phooey, I don't need that note. I'm going to go on this one. But unfortunately, when you get to this type of music, every note matters, and so you do want to spend some time. Don't work on the whole song. Like, you can probably play pages 1 and 2 without a lot of heartache. But go find those places on here that are really hard. For me, these first 2 lines, well, really the first line into the second line is pretty challenging. So if I'm going to be working on this, I want to be slowing it down to, okay, I got this B flat, and then I got to abandon that B flat. I don't have any choice here. Okay, I could do a 6 here, but I still have that 3. I guess I could do 6, 8, right? And then I've got my 8. That actually looks pretty good. Okay, and then I've added on, because on your sheet, on your tab, I got, yeah, I put a 3. Oh, I changed mine to 5, 5, so I've got it. Okay, and then I gotta get down to this B flat. Pinky probably. Lift up the bar, put it right back down. And then you got a regular F chord, and you're like, oh, thank God. Pinky, pinky. This is one place where I'm on the 3, so I'm going to slide my pinky because I know the next note's also a pinky. A little miniature bar here. Okay, and then this really complicated chord here. B flat, pinky on 8. B flat, pinky on 8. Okay, that's the note everybody's listening for, is the high note in the song. And I always lift my bar up there to get that 0. That gives me time to get down to the low B flat. Okay, so that is pretty challenging going, and I would probably spend 3/4 of my time working on that little section and less time on the rest of the song. I have to say it all the time, don't try playing songs top to bottom all the time. Go find the hard parts, work on the hard parts, trust that the easier parts you're going to be able to do, and then toward the end of your practice session, just play the song once through, looking for those places that you maybe need to work on next time as the hard section. But your goal is not to waste time in practice, and one way we always waste time is we just play the whole song and then we go on to the next song, play the whole song on the next. Well, you don't get good at the hard parts that way. Find the hard parts, work on those sections super hard, and then if you play this the whole song at all, that's when you need to be really paying attention. Where am I goofing up? And then next time you come to practice, you only work on those sections. Playing the whole song top to bottom twice is not particularly going to help you master the piece. Getting where the hard parts just come out of your ukulele, and trusting if you can do the hard parts, you can do the easy parts, right? All right, let's see. This is my first time at TuffUke. Good stuff. Yay, nice job. Right? Could you repeat what you are doing in measure 53? Oh, okay. So, measure 53. What you have there is perfectly lovely, right? So what I have on your tab is... Okay, so the problem with that is you have to pull the bar off. So what I change it to, and what I will change it to when we eventually someday update this tab, I will start at 52. I'm going to use the regular, what it says there. And then instead of 1, 3, I'm going to play 6 on the second string, 8 on the second string, and now 5 on the first string, and then 7 on the, I'm going to pull off my ring finger, put the 7 there. Okay, so 52 is actually where the more substantial change happens. B flat shape, and you can go back and check the recording if you need to. 6, 8 on string 2, 5, 7 on string 1, and then the big bar, the one question you're asking is, and then I just change it, even though it changes the melody, 5, 5. Okay, so I'm not moving anything here. I'm just going to go second string, third string. Changes the melody, but yeah, whatever, right? I don't know. I don't think Bach is going to come punch me in the face, so I think I'm going to get away with it. Okay. 5, 5, and now I got it. Now I slide down to that B flat. Change anything else the rest of the song. Measure 58, you guys again that are really hard B flat, and you guys have a 1 in your tab, which is perfectly fine because it gets you down to make that next one. But I think it's probably easier to play a 6 on the second string for instead of the 1 on the first string, play a 6 on the second string. I think it gives you a little bit more time to get it clean. So hopefully those are helpful. Hopefully those are helpful suggestions. Again, the tab is not wrong. It's just that over time you start thinking about, well, I would think I want to do different. I'm looking for different things to emphasize, and so over time, sometimes I make some minor modifications to a tab. Sometimes I make a major modification because I'm thinking new thoughts. But what you have here is absolutely correct. Just a few things I have modified, either which string I play it on, or in case of 53, I'm actually changing the melody by 1 note. And that's That's what happens when you only have an octave and a half to fit in a whole piano. Right? Let's see. Diane, welcome in. Glad to see you. Hey, Carol, welcome in. And Bruce, good to see you. Good morning. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, love it that you guys are all checking in here. Over the next 2 weeks, you got 2 weeks now. Okay, I want to talk about pages 1 through 5. That's what we'll be doing. And I'll play this really quickly on baritone for you. Pages 1 through 5. Pages 1 and 5 are identical, so you don't need to work on both. Just don't play through page 1 enough times where it starts to make sense. Page 2, again, 1 and 2 are not where the hard stuff is. There is one chord on page 2 that's hard. Other than that, and again, it's not any different than what you've already seen. If you're playing this B flat effectively, you can absolutely play at measure 24. You have a D chord. Or, I'm sorry, it's on 9. Okay, it's not. You put a bar on 9. Okay, so again, remember, F chord in some first position. F sharp, G, A, B flat on 5, C's on 7. Remember when you learned C chord, you thought, I'm going to learn to play ukulele. It's awesome. It's the greatest thing ever. And then I say, oh, here's a C chord too. Okay, C chord, and then D chord's on 9. Okay. That doesn't come up a ton, but it's lovely. So that's on measure 12. Practice that one. And then pages 3 and 4, what we went through today, is a lot. Okay, pretty challenging stuff. And then page 1 is the same. So next 2 weeks from now, you're playing this top to bottom. Ask yourself this question: would this be a great party trick? Somebody says, "Oh, hey, here comes Kat. She's the ukulele girl," you know. And Kat's like, "Yeah, I'm the ukulele girl, ukulele lady, right?" But they're like, "Hey, bring your ukulele, play us something." You know, wouldn't it be pretty cool? They're thinking you're gonna do Tiny Bubbles, and you lay Bach's Menuett Suite on there. It's not Bach, it's Petzold, right? We know that now, but everybody thinks of it as Bach. Let me play the baritone version of this. Those of you guys that have Menuett and baritone, for those of you guys who have ukuleles in your lap, you're supposed to know these chords, right? So at where are we starting at? Measure 52. Okay, you probably actually do know them. So you grab the baritone sheet music with your ukulele. You're now on chords. Baritone players, you can play melody or you can play TuffUke with me. Let's go through it one time. Okay, I'll just use my thumb. We won't do the repeats. Play from 52 down to measure. From 52, is that where we start? No, we start at 35. Sorry, this is an older version, so it doesn't match up measure for measure from the ukulele version. All right, so for measure 35, we're going to play the baritone, and ukuleles, you're going to play the chords, and then we will play down through measure 68, all second endings, just so you can hear what you're up to. 1, 2, 3. you're 69. Okay, so that's give you a general sense of what the overall idea should be. Not trying to rush. Okay, if you get really good at this, if you get it memorized, then yeah, then you rush it, right? To be make it a party trick. But that doesn't that sound really luscious and lovely just at that speed? Bum ba da ba dum bum. Right, makes it sound very important and Johann Sebastian Bach, right, or Christian Petzold, whoever that dude was. So there you go, nice piece of music for you. Turn it into your signature piece. Let's see. Jan says, I am appreciating finding the notes further up the neck at times instead of hopping up and down. Yeah, and I think what happens is the more advanced your playing gets, the more you do that, right? So the reason why I really, really, really favor the lower end and open positions is because, number one, most of you don't have a $3,000 ukulele in your lap. A whole bunch of you have a $200 ukulele in your lap. There's nothing wrong with that, but they just don't quite have the same sound up the neck that they have down lower. So depending on the quality of your neck, it really does affect the sound. So I do spend a lot of time down at the lower positions and do tend to favor that. Plus, as you're learning, it's not a bad idea to get really comfy with going back and forth. But as you get more advanced and as your ukulele quality improves, you do want to start using the second string for sure up the neck. I have yet to hear ukulele, even my really fine performance level ukulele, I tend to avoid that third string after about fret 5, right? Because it just doesn't have the same thing. You're dealing with this much string, right? And so no matter what, and it's kind of a thicker string, so no matter what you do, it's not always the best choice. I have a few players who think it's always the best choice to play up the neck, and it's not. Okay, our instrument is unique in that you can do it, but maybe you shouldn't do it, right? It's a little different than, I got a pretty expensive guitar. I can get away with that on that because it's the strings are much longer, much bigger body, the whole thing. It sort of helps you out. The machine helps you out a little bit. With ukulele, there are limits, which we love. That's what I love about ukulele is, hey, here are some limits in music. How do you still make music with this? And it's actually a far more rewarding experience in many respects. If you sit down at a piano, you can play everything, right? You don't have to think about it. On ukulele, you can play those same exact things, but you really do have to be a smart strategist about how best to make it work on your machine. And so, yeah, thinking about some of those notes that if it feels like you're playing here and then you got to jump down and grab them and come back up, sometimes it makes sense to change the string. And like I say, I do it on string number 2 pretty regularly, not so much on string number 3. And of course, we barely use string number 4 at all, except for chords. And then Linda says, I have tab page 1 for harmonica, and it's lovely, isn't it? Here's the cool part about Bach. Bach works on all instruments. I don't know what it is. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what kind of magical powder that they put on his head, but he sounds great on all instruments. Yeah, absolutely. Just if you want to help Linda with her tabs for harmonica on this, send me an email and I'll get you in touch with Linda. As I talked about with the guitar group, I'm out of time. I just can't do any harmonica tabs right now. Hopefully this summer I'll be able to get to some. But we have lots and lots of existing sheet music on Jolly Roger and on the Denver Guitar Orchestra site. That if those of you guys who have harmonicas, use the chromatic one. Don't try to force it onto diatonic because it almost will never work. If you want to tab them out, and it's my sheet music already in the computer, I can add those tabs fairly quickly. If it's a song I haven't done before, I have to then do a lot more work. So if you want to send me harmonica tabs, you absolutely can do that. All right. What was the next thing we had to do? Oh, so we talked about getting the whole song done. Yeah, 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. Put your mind, energy, and body into this, and I think that you will be very, very happy that at the end of it, you're like, yeah, I got Bach's complete Menuett Suite on my ukulele. I'm a pretty good ukulele player. You can kind of rub it in people's faces. All right, Ukulele Lady. Let's go grab that one. Let's play through the whole thing. We've had it a couple of weeks. Hopefully we can pull it out. I haven't worked on it this week, guys, so I've worked on it a lot in the past, so let me peek through and see where I'm going to get destroyed. All right. Yep. So with this one, it's not the chord positions that's difficult. It's the rhythm, right? I saw the splendor of the moonlight on Honolulu Bay. There's something tender in the moonlight on Honolulu Bay. And all the beaches are full of peaches who bring their ukes along. I guess there's a lot of girls on Waikiki Beach playing ukulele. And in the glimmer of the moonlight, they love to sing this song. Okay, and then it goes into the chorus. All right, so dumb. All right, you can tell a boy wrote it, right? Anytime that the songs are just painfully stupid, you can tell that it'll have a team of men behind it. All right, I'm gonna play with my thumb. Let's see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. Back to 17. chord F. Isn't that fun? That's a fun song. That first section is really challenging to get the rhythm right. So I think what I did, sing it through the first time a little bit, is not an altogether stupid idea. Let's grab it on baritone. Go grab your baritone chords. Most of these chords are going to be fine for you on ukulele, right? We're book 3, so at this point, right, when you hit book 3, there's sort of this assumption that your chords are coming along pretty well, and you are getting to the point where you're like, I know most of my chords, right? And you don't have to know every chord, right? But you should probably know, like in this one, you got a G sharp 7. I don't know. This is G7, so G sharp is probably just up, don't play the top string type thing, right? So you start thinking that way, is if I don't know what it is, what do I know that's kind of like it? And then just move it around on the fretboard a little bit. All right, I'm going to play Ukulele Lady on baritone. Most of you are on ukulele, so you're playing chords. Those of you on baritone, if this gets too tough, you play the melody. Let's see. A team of men. Well, we're not supposed to be gender specific anymore, but sometimes you just know, you're like, read this going, dude. Ugh, God. I'm trying to think. Oh, we do a song in the guitar group called Willie's Gone to Melville Castle. It's called Melville Castle, but it's about Willie, and he's riding away, and all the women are weeping because he's so beautiful, and they're so sad he's going off to war. And so as he starts to leave, and then he's like, no, I better go back and kiss all the ladies. And you're just like, you know. You know that was written by, it was 300 years ago, but it was a man that put that thing together. All right. From the top. Yeah. All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. I don't care what they say. I don't care. I don't care. Some people don't like it. They're wrong. Okay. Now, what do we? Oh, when you wish upon a star. For those of you guys who haven't done this yet, okay, some of you may not know this. Let me pull it up. Hold on. This is exciting. This is exciting. The fact that we have this at all is crazy. This is gonna put you to work. Okay. So let me pull it up. I played through it last week to make sure it still plays, and it does. But I didn't load it into the machine here, so let me do that. Disney. I do crossword puzzle a lot, and everybody's all, ugh, Disney, blah, Disney's terrible. And they're wrong. This piece of music written by Harline and Washington, whoever they were, lovely, right? It was made famous by Cliff Edwards, I think was his last name, ukulele player, right? And they put this in the song, and so it was played by this guy who I get the sense was not that great of a guy, but he was known for ukulele, and so this is one of our pieces. We don't have very many pieces that are ours, and this is one of them. But when you play it as a TuffUke song, it's not exactly going to just come dripping out of your ukulele. You have to put a little time in on it. Because you got things like, when you wish, what is that? Augmented D chord, wish upon a, look at this, G major 7 star. You can already tell you want to play that. Makes no difference who you are. Don't you want to play that? Right now you're like, yes, I want that out of my ukulele. Then look at the next one, a major 9th. Up here, 5 on the 8th fret. Okay, listen how beautiful that is. Anything your heart desires will, here it is again, come to you. And that just it's like so smart. Okay, it's not easy to play. Let me run through some of the tough uke moments. If you are going to sing and strum this, you are definitely going to need to put some time in on memorizing these chord shapes, because they are none of them practically are in an easy position to get to. This is definitely, when we're talking about book 1, book 2, and book 3. Book 1 is stuff anybody can do. Book 2 is stuff you can do if you paid attention in book 1. Book 3 is like, whatever it is, and this is not stuff that's just going to come just be like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. So let's go through, take just a tour through it. First part, not too bad. F chord with your pinky. Now you got this weird D sharp, or D augmented. Drop your index finger, add 2 fingers. Looks like a D minor a little bit. When you wish, D7. G minor, but it's a weird G minor. So it's delayed. They call that a suspension. You don't actually get to the chord until the second beat, and then you've got to get in this position. Now a lot of people are going to try to do a bar chord here. You might get away with it. Okay, I never do that. I always use 4 fingers here. Much easier and much more likely to hit it correctly, because then you got that 3, and then you got an easy measure here. Okay, measure 4, our lovely diminished shape on 1, F chord, and then a high F chord. And that 5 there is just decorative. You can skip it if you need to. Then look at this mess, okay? Anytime you have a mess, what's your rule? Anytime you see a mess on a tablature line, your rule is find the lowest note. That's where your bar goes, okay? It's 8, and then normally we have the F shape here, but this is all crazy. It's a major 9th, so you've got 9 and then 10. So your middle and ring finger are backward, okay? Isn't that cool? Next mess is still lowest number is 8, so all I have to do is take the 10 off. Lowest number is 7, drop it back 1. Pinky to grab that 10. There's the case where up the neck makes a whole lot more sense than trying to get the 5 over here. Okay, now you get put on your G minor, add your pinky. Lose your pinky. Opens. Nice C chord here. And then that 3 3 5 5 comes back to get you. 0 2 0. Regular F chord with your pinky. And then you're going to repeat up to the top. Okay, second time you come through at measure 9, regular F. Now this is an interesting part of the song. Fate is kind. I don't think that there's an easy way to play. Yeah, thank God they're half notes. Okay, because you go from 3 1 3 to 1 1 3 1 1 0. And that 0 is essential, so you can't put a bar on. And then you go back to a regular F. Regular G minor. Another diminished shape on 1. Slide your pinky up. And then back. This is a case where I would really recommend a slide. Listen how cool it sounds. Womp, womp, womp. Measure 14. Regular D minor. Okay, move on to page 2. Okay, 1, 2, and 4. That's just your G7 shape, but you're going to play this G, the 4, okay, C sharp for some reason. It sounds wrong until you resolve it. High G7. Okay, 5, 7, 8. Okay, lowest number is an 8. Okay, I just used my pinky on it. That's probably a mistake in thinking. I probably should have gone 5, 7, index finger on 8, put in that 8, 9, 10. Listen to that. Listen to that. That's the chord you want to be able to play. And then just drop it into the 7. And then move your finger hand. Okay. Now, so the first time you hit there, it says go all the way back to measure 1, okay? But remember, the third time you come through, you start at measure 1, you're playing through. The third time you play through, you skip, well, here in this case, at the end of measure 6, you're going to have that coda. So you go back to the top, to measure 1, play through measure 6, and then obey. That's where you obey the old coda. The third time you get there, it says go to measure 18, and then that's where we're going to finish up. So measure 18 is the same stuff you've already seen. So bum 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 is how we end it. Dreams come true. Okay, but lots and lots of more advanced stuff on here. Here's the good news: you do not have to hurry. You don't. There's no reason you play this at any particular speed. So take your time and really think of your chords through. Don't rush through trying to play the song. As always, I tell you that's usually a mistake. You're trying to play the techniques. Find those techniques and those moments in the song that are going to eat your lunch. Fix those moments, and then the song will be there, right? And so spend a little bit of time on it. This is probably, well, I always say every song is my favorite song. This is not my favorite song, but it is one of my favorite arrangements. Right up there with Summertime. I mean, it's just so cool. All of the tones in here that come out of your ukulele or baritone. Baritone's just as cool. And you're going to love it when you get this thing put together. So you got 2 weeks again to get it together. And I think we're over time by a little bit. So I got to go. You guys have a wonderful 2 weeks. Spring break is rolling around. I am just delighted to have you here this morning. Hopefully you will tell your friends to come visit us. And I'll try to keep my men wrote this song comments to a minimum. When a song is stupid, right? When a song is stupid and a woman wrote it, you're like, just don't say anything, you know, right? But when it's a stupid, really, because I think there's a different level of stupid. This is a level of brilliant, right? So these guys made up for whoever wrote Ukulele Lady. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Sunday morning and playing a little ukulele. And I hope that I see you down the road soon. And remember, 2 weeks from now, we'll get this done again. And off we go. Have a wonderful day. Peace.